There's only room for one guitar player in this band, and that's me. So why don't you,
The movie The Dirt showed Motley Crue as wild icons of rock, the kings of chaos who broke every rule. But behind the eyeliner, fire, and fame was a story too dark for Hollywood to tell. This isn't the legend you saw on Netflix. This is the truth. A tale of death, betrayal, and a band that nearly destroyed itself just to survive. Los Angeles, 1981. Nikki Sixx had a plan to build a band that looked like a riot and sounded like the end of the world. He'd seen drummer Tommy Lee tearing up Sunset Strip with his old group, Sweet 19. Nikki didn't leave it to chance. He'd tracked Tommy down at a diner, sketching out his vision for a group that would mix glam, fire, and pure madness. Their first rehearsal wasn't magic, it was mayhem. They argued over songs, over who should lead, even over how loud to play. But beneath all that chaos, something dangerous was forming. When Vince Neil auditioned, it wasn't at a pool party under the sun. It was in a tiny garage filled with cigarette smoke and broken amps. He sang AC/DC covers so powerfully that everyone stopped arguing. In that moment, Motley Crue was born. In 1984, fame turned fatal. Vince Neil drove drunk and crashed his car, killing his friend Razzle from Hanoi Rocks. 2 others were left permanently injured. Vince served just 15 days in jail. The public was outraged, but Motley Crue played on. To them, the only way to deal with guilt was to drown it in noise. Even at their wildest, they were sharp when it came to business. The band fought tooth and nail for control over their music. In 1997, they made a shocking move, giving up $10 million to reclaim ownership of their master recordings. Their lawyers called it career suicide. But 20 years later, when they sold that same catalog for $150 million, everyone realized it was genius. But fame has a price. On New Year's Eve 1994, Tommy Lee met Pamela Anderson. He didn't shake her hand, he licked her face. 4 days later, they were married on a beach in Cancun. It sounded like a love story until their private honeymoon tape was stolen and sold worldwide. It made millions, none of which they ever saw. The scandal turned them into global tabloid headlines. And then came something worse. In 1998, Tommy was arrested for assaulting Pamela while she held her child. He spent 6 months in jail. The wild drummer who once ruled the stage was now reduced to another mugshot. Behind the scenes, things were even darker. Their manager, Doc McGee, had been using the band's success to fund his own empire. Between 1982 and 1984, he was involved in smuggling millions of dollars worth of drugs into the U.S. When caught, his punishment was community service, and that service became the Moscow Peace Festival, a global concert disguised as a legal loophole. The crew had no idea they were being used to save their manager from prison. While the world saw the glam, the real pain stayed hidden. In 1995, Vince Neil's 4-year-old daughter, Skylar, died from a rare kidney cancer. He spent nights sleeping beside her hospital bed and days trying to drink away the grief. He later said no concert crowd could ever fill the silence she left behind. By the late 1990s, the band was crumbling. Tommy Lee went to jail, Vince Neil battled depression, and Nikki Sixx pawned his guitars just to pay bills. Fans thought Motley Crue was finished. But instead of fading away, they did the unthinkable. They rebuilt everything from scratch. They launched their own label, owned their music outright, and took back control of their lives. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rock's hidden history, make sure to subscribe to Golden Age Stars, where the real stories behind fame finally come to light.